Hi YouTube, welcome back. Well, it's been a couple weeks since I harvested all my pumpkins. Now it's time to use them in a recipe. Stay tuned. Most of my pumpkins have ripened. If you remember, they were green, like this one, when I harvested them. Most of them are either ripe or in the process of ripening. This one is done, and this one I broke the stem off when I was harvesting it, so I definitely want to use this one first. It won't last as long. This one was very, very young when I cut it, and it's not going to ripen properly. I have heard that it tastes like squash. I tasted some of the really little tiny ones, and they did taste like squash, kind of like a zucchini, but a little bit blander, or zucchini that you've peeled all of the skin off of. So I'm going to cut this up and use it like zucchini. This, on the other hand, I am going to make a little bread fondue bowl, cheesy stuffed thing. The recipe is called cheesy stuffed pumpkin. It'll be awesome. I will of course link the recipes down below. I'm of course changing it a little bit because that's what I do. I found two really good looking ones that were for stuffing inside of a pumpkin and roasting it. But I didn't want to do both of those at the same time. I'd have like 6 pumpkins in there. So one, it was like a casserole, like a chicken casserole in a pumpkin. And the other one was this cheesy bread stuff in a pumpkin. So I'm going to do the cheesy bread stuff in a pumpkin, and I'm going to make the other stuff like just a casserole to go with it. So if you get some of the pumpkin in there with it, then it'll be alright, I guess. We're going to see. But the chicken casserole stuff is very similar to another meal that I make anyway. It's just more veggies and rice instead of noodles. But I've got my chicken thawed. We've got cream of chicken soup, some rice, frozen corn. I know this isn't from the garden, but peas and carrots, and some of this and some onion chopped up with the casserole. And in here, we're going to have a baguette cut up and provolone cheese with some spices and stuff, but I'll show you all the ins and outs. First, I got to get some chopping and some scooping and de-seeding done, so hang on. About halfway through, I am flipping them over so they don't dry out on top. Also kind of mixing the soup up a little bit. is like soup. Hopefully I got a good ratio for the rice to the soup mix, but we'll see. Put the pumpkin in there for 15 minutes. Just to pre-cook a little bit empty. And I still got 3 minutes left, but our baguette cubes are already toasted a little bit. Cheese is ready to go, and I got lots of cheese. Since I have a couple minutes. I did leave some things out of this recipe. It will be linked below so you can follow the whole thing if you want, but I didn't have all of the herbs that it said. I do have sage, but it's getting rained on outside right now. It's a very young plant, so I didn't harvest any of it. But I used oregano on top of the breadcrumbs. That was it, with some garlic and oil. I was out of paprika, apparently, for inside the pumpkin. I thought I still had some, but apparently it got used, so that's okay. Yeah, and the recipe said to use all the meat, I think. Or, no, it calls it meat in the recipe, but it's the gooey pumpkin stuff in the middle. I just put a couple teaspoons of it on instead, because I don't like the middle part very much, and it gets a little slimy when you cook it. So I just used a little bit for flavor, and that was it. I didn't coat it. The recipe says to coat it. It also says to put water in the pan with the bread too. I have a thing with soggy bread. I cannot eat soggy bread, so I didn't add the water. I just did oil, kind of like toasting garlic bread. So we'll see. So all the oil drained out of there. Now we're going to layer bread and cheese. It also said to use stale bread, and I didn't have any already, so I had to go buy bread, so it's fresh bread. Suggested 4 layers, but I'm not sure if they used a bigger pumpkin than this. Alright, this is jammed pretty good. Last 2 slices of cheese. Squish it down so there's a little bit of space there. Put your lid back on and stick it back in the oven. Ta-da! Time to check in on everything. Pumpkin is about done. Now that looks gorgeous. Supposed to put it, take the lid off and put it back in for another 10 minutes to brown the cheese on top. And the pumpkin is like just starting to be done, so I think we're good. It's already, since I stuffed it, it's been in there for 27 minutes, so that's pretty close. So give that a few more minutes. As for the casserole, looking good. Let's see if the cheese is done all the way. Maybe we should give the chicken a couple more minutes. go ahead and put this back in for a couple minutes. Chicken is done. We're ready to serve. Well, here it is, all done. Look at that beautifulness. Everything is delicious. I should have added more liquid to the casserole, so if you are copying what I'm doing, throw another can of cream of chicken or even cream of celery and a can of milk or water, whatever. Definitely need some more liquid to go with the 3 cups of rice. Or cut down on the rice. But it's very good. It even has the picky teenager's approval, who has already shoveled his plate pretty much clean.
It's delicious.
He likes it. And the bread stuff, it's pretty good. Very cheesy. It's drier because of the way I made it instead of the recipe. It's good. Oh, and to find out, does the green pumpkin taste like squash? Now it's a little closer to like a crookneck squash than like zucchini. Raw, it tastes more like a zucchini. Cooked, it tastes a little more like yellow crookneck squash. But tasty nonetheless. I'm going to go enjoy my dinner. You all have a good night. Thanks for coming along with me. And remember, life's an adventure. Thanks for joining me in mine. God bless.